My name is Maya. I'm 21 years old, and I live in a quiet, peaceful town in New Zealand with my older brother, Arjun. Life has not always been easy for us. Our parents passed away when I was 16, and since then, Arjun has been my rock, my guardian, and my biggest supporter. After finishing my diploma in information technology, I joined a local community center as a front desk assistant. It wasn't a fancy job, but it was a start. I handled scheduling, greeted people, helped with forms, and guided older citizens in using computers. I loved seeing their faces light up when they learned how to email their grandchildren or video call their families. At first, everything at the center felt safe and comforting. My colleagues were kind, the environment was welcoming, and I felt like I belonged. It gave me a purpose and helped me contribute to my household. Arjun would often tell me, "This is just the beginning, Maya. You're going to do great things." But 3 months ago, that safe space began to feel suffocating. It all began when Alan, a new supervisor, joined our team. Alan was charismatic, sharply dressed, and always smiling. On his first day, he brought pastries for everyone and went out of his way to make people feel at ease. He seemed friendly, warm, and approachable. He remembered everyone's names within a day and made jokes that kept the team laughing. I thought, this will be a good change. Maybe he will bring some positive energy. But soon, things started changing in ways I didn't expect. Alan began to focus a lot of his attention on me. At first, it seemed harmless. He would compliment my work, say I was smart and resourceful. He'd occasionally drop by my desk just to chat. One day, he brought me a coffee and said, "You deserve a break, superstar." Then came the personal questions. "Do you have a boyfriend? What do you do on weekends? Do you live alone?" I felt uncomfortable, but I laughed it off, not wanting to make things awkward. After all, he was my supervisor. One evening, when most staff had left, I stayed late to finish the monthly reports. Alan was still there. He walked over and said, "You're dedicated. I like that. Want to grab dinner?" My treat. I froze. I didn't want to go. "No, thank you," I said, trying to sound polite. "I have to get home." His smile faded just a little. "You're missing out," he said. His tone was playful, but something about it made me uneasy. After that day, his attitude changed subtly. He still smiled, but there was a sharpness behind it. He started assigning me more tasks, often unrelated to my role. He'd question my reports, pick on small mistakes, and make sarcastic remarks during meetings. Worse were the moments when he'd brush past me too closely, touch my shoulder while pretending to guide me to the copier, or linger near my desk longer than necessary. I began to feel anxious every morning before going to work. I started skipping lunch breaks and stopped chatting with my coworkers. I felt small, isolated, and confused. One day, a new intern named Kira joined. She was cheerful, optimistic, and reminded me of myself when I first started. I tried to befriend her and guide her through the work. A week later, she looked uncomfortable during lunch. When I asked her if something was wrong, she hesitated. "Is Alan always this Friendly? She asked nervously. My heart sank. I knew what she meant. We talked more, and Kira told me Alan had sent her late-night messages complimenting her smile, asking if she was free to hang out alone. She had screenshots. That night, we sat in a quiet cafe and compared stories. The patterns were disturbingly similar. We decided it was time to act. We documented every message, every incident, every inappropriate remark. We approached Aisha, the head of human resources, together. Aisha was calm and supportive. She listened patiently, asked questions, and took our concerns seriously. She assured us that an investigation would be conducted and that we would be protected. The following days, Alan's presence became less visible. There were closed-door meetings, hushed conversations, and tension in the air. Then one morning, he didn't show up. By afternoon, it was announced he had taken a personal leave. A week later, we were told that Alan had been dismissed following multiple complaints and a formal investigation. The office felt different, lighter, safe. Kira smiled again. I started breathing easier. I went back to enjoying my work and connecting with visitors. My colleagues quietly thanked me for speaking up. It turned out others had also felt uncomfortable but were afraid to say anything. Aisha called me in one afternoon and said, "Maya, your strength and leadership in this situation have not gone unnoticed. Would you be interested in applying for the assistant program lead role?" I was stunned. I never saw myself as a leader. But something inside me said, "You didn't go through all this to remain silent." I said yes. Now, I work with a purpose. I support others, mentor interns, and ensure our workplace is respectful and inclusive. I keep my door open for anyone who needs to talk. I no longer feel small. I found my voice. I used it. And in doing so, I helped others find theirs too. Moral of the story: even in the darkest moments, your voice matters. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet decision to say, "Enough." Maya's stand wasn't just for herself. It was for everyone who deserves safety and respect at work. If this story inspired you, like, comment, and share it. Subscribe for more real emotional stories that matter.